Welcome to the Heal Your Hunger Show, where we get to the heart of why you overeat and how to stop. If you struggle with food and weight like I did, welcome home.
Welcome everybody to the Heal Your Hunger Show. It's a great day to be alive, and I'm so happy to be here with you. Gosh darn it, I just got back from a trip to Hawaii. That was amazing, and it was so healing. I think Hawaii is a beautiful, magical, mystical place, you know, with deep roots and deep spiritual roots. And I definitely feel like it healed me because I wasn't feeling so good when I went there. And I'm going to talk about that today. I am recording this live in the Secret Sauce group. So if you're not in the Secret Sauce group, please join us there. Go to Facebook and type in Secret Sauce to End Emotional Eating and you'll find us. And please join us there. It's a free resource, but it's a great place to hang out, and you'll get updates on stuff that I'm up to, special trainings, guest speakers, my podcast you can watch live and comment. So definitely go in there, comment on this show, please. Love to start a conversation with you. Love to hear from you. You know, it always helps me when I hear from you and I know that you're listening. So if you want to do a good deed for the day, just go in there and give me a, yeah, Trish. Okay. So, you know, we all need a little love. So I would love that. And it's kind of ironic that today I'm recording. You can't see me if you're just listening, but I have a sweatshirt that says laugh on it, which I love. This is my favorite sweatshirt. And a good friend of mine actually made this, didn't construct the sweatshirt, but the laugh part. And I just love it because I love to laugh, right? You've heard me laugh on here once in a while. So yeah, so I want to talk today about the Fck Its, okay? So I'm not going to say the word because I don't feel comfortable swearing in my podcast, but I'll tell you, I'm very familiar with the F word. I love the F word, in fact. I find that people who have problems with addictions need to get their emotions out because so much of the time we're stuffing our emotions. So I find the F word extremely cathartic. So it's not, to me, it's not vulgar. It's like cathartic. It's like when you say it in the right circumstances. Okay. Again, I don't want to say it on the show because that's not how I roll. You know, my mama taught me to have good manners. So, but you know, when I'm on my own or I'm among close friends, you know, I do an F-bomb here and there, and it just like, it gets the feelings out if, you know, I need to get something out. So I find I can get some anger out if I'm using that word and I'm angry. Which is, again, something I'm going to talk about today. So, so the Fck Its, you know what I'm talking about, right? So where did this come from? Well, about a week ago, before I went away, you know, I had some things going on. It's a couple weeks, actually, some things that were going on that were concerning to me, kind of scaring me. So I was emotionally not in a great place because I was feeling, you know, kind of afraid, and my security was being threatened in some ways. Don't really know how to describe it exactly, but just the point is there was a lot going on. Okay. There was a lot going on and I was feeling off my game. I was feeling afraid, very sensitive, sad. I had a lot of emotions. And while I did deal with them to a degree, I didn't do the writing that I recommend everybody do. So, you know, I did a little bit of writing, but I had so much emotion. I should have done more, bottom line. Okay. I did not take my own advice. Slap on the hand for me. And so, yeah. And guess what? The feelings piled up. And I got a case of the Fck Its. Okay. And so I want to talk about that because I find when I have the Fck Its is when I'm most vulnerable to overeating. Okay. Lots of emotions can drive emotional eaters to emotionally eat, you know, and I generally feel very free because I have a system that works and I do the system and I, by God's loving grace, I experience freedom around food. You know, it's an amazing thing. It's what I teach my clients to do and they experience it. But because I wasn't totally on top of this barrage of emotions I was experiencing in my life and events that were kind of like I felt like I was like a ship in the ocean, just like being tossed around. Like I was like a little, like a cork, you know, a cork from a bottle, or I was maybe just a bottle. Get my analogies going here. So I was like a bottle and I was just being like thrown away around in the water, like just like a message in a bottle. So And it was, I was off my game, and I had a lot of emotions, and it was hard for me. I was really having a hard time. And then I felt angry. There's stuff going on, and I had a lot of mixed feelings and a lot of anger. That's a triggering emotion as well, right? To overeat, because emotional eaters don't like to feel angry, because we like to be nice and happy all the time. So I had a lot of anger, and it's really not who I am generally. But so I had a lot of anger, I had a lot of emotion, a lot of uncertainty. And I have to tell you, I started to sink into a case of the Fck Its, and when I'm in that place, I feel very close to overeating. I feel very like who cares? Like what does it matter anyway? You get in that dark kind of negative, self-pitying frame of mind. That's where I was. I was just sort of like, yeah, I love that song. What is it? Nobody loves me. Everybody hates me. I'm going to eat some worms. That's kind of where I got, like, what's the point? What's the use? It's kind of Emmett Fox calls it the devil's last ditch, is is what's it matter anyway? That sort of doubt and sort of throwing up your hands and giving up, So doubt is, there's definitely something to that. When we feel doubtful, we're vulnerable to just that negative, like ski jump into hell. Okay. I don't believe in a devil, but I understand why they call it the devil. I'll tell you that much, because it acts like it. It talks to you in your own voice, and it's out to get you, and to me it's fear, but you can call it lower consciousness. Doesn't matter what you call it. But I was in that place, and I was sliding down into hell, into the Fck Its, and like, what's any of this matter anyway? And guys, I'm never usually there. I don't live there, but I used to. When I was in the food, I used to get dark fast and a lot. I know that from my mind. And if you're there now, trust me, I've been there, and I know it. When you're hating your body and you can't stop eating, and all you think about is food, and you don't even want to hang out with your family, or you don't want to go to work, or the only things that fit you are stretchy yoga pants, and you're just feeling really bad about yourself. That's a bad frame of mind, and I've been there many times. So if you're there, I feel you, and there's a way out, okay? Because I don't live there anymore, and that's my mission in life, is to show you how to climb out of that hell. But even if I'm not overeating, I can get into that frame of mind if scary things are happening, if I don't stay on top of it, okay? And so I was there, and I just noticed how easy it is to eat in that frame of mind, is to feel like what's it matter if I eat, and again, I didn't totally actually believe that, but I felt afraid. The bottom line is, I didn't overeat, but I felt afraid of overeating, which I haven't felt in a long time. I just felt dark. I stayed up too late one night. That's a trigger for me and for emotional eaters. Often you stay up late watching stupid TV, that's a prescription for, bad things to happen, because you get overtired. So you're already negative, and then you stay up too late. You watch stupid TV, then you kick yourself for wasting the time because you got a lot to do. The next day you don't have the energy to do it. And then you're exhausted and you need quick energy. That's where the food comes in. That's where we slide into that slippery slope of overeating. And so I was looking at that in the face. I was looking at that terrible, dark place in my mind. So those are the Fck Its, and it's probably one of the emotions that brings us close to food more than any of the others. Okay. In that dark place, thinking, what's it matter anyway? And I know you've been there. If you're an emotional eater, you've been there. So I just want to talk about that. So what I did, I just want to share it. If it's useful, great. If not, well, you can pray for me. So I need all the help I can get. But what I did, first of all, is I caught it. Okay. So I noticed that, and you'll hear me talk a lot about that on my show, is, awareness is the first step. Okay. So I became aware of it, because I was like, whoa, like I felt afraid of food and afraid of overeating. Late night TV goes very well with overeating, right? Excess food, an extra meal or two. So I really didn't want to go there. But I noticed that's what was happening to me, is I find that we don't just overeat so much of the time. We have an environment, a mental environment, an emotional environment where overeating makes sense. You know, we create a culture in which overeating is the obvious choice. And that mental culture is negativity. That mental culture is feeling like there's no point to anything. And like my efforts don't make a difference. And you know, a good one, you know, self-pity is a big one. So I got on the scale and geez, I've been working so hard at the gym and I don't have anything to show for it. I didn't lose a pound. In fact, I gained a pound, right? So have you done that before? Have you had that experience where you're trying so hard and then you don't see any results in weight loss? And then you're just like, F it. Like, F it. I'm going to eat. Like, what's the point? Like, why do all that work if I'm not going to lose weight anyway? And then we put on 10 pounds, right? So, you know, that's not exactly sound logic. But the point is the efforts are dangerous ground to be in. So I was aware of it. I realized I was in danger zone. I realized that I needed to pull out of it. And so I did start to write because, you know, if we hold on to those negative emotions and we don't get them out, we will cover them up with food. We'll turn to food to anesthetize them. And I realized I hadn't been doing that. So they've been piling up. So I went back to writing. I just, you know, I had to get the toxins out. You know, I get the anger out, the fear out. You know, my writing is something nobody else sees. I do a document on my computer. I don't secure it because I live alone. So it's not really a danger of anybody seeing it. But if you don't live alone, put a lock on it. You know, have your computer, like there's a way to lock your document, or get a notebook and put it under your bed, you know, when you're done writing, you know, make sure nobody sees it. And, you know, so you feel safe enough to get toxins out. You know, we can't keep that stuff in. So I just had to get the toxins out. And that helped me. But it was hard. You know, my experience with anger is once I tap into it, it feeds on itself and it's easy to stay angry and to just gnaw on it and have it grow into this terrible monster, you know, where whatever object of your anger is there, it just all of a sudden, you know, it's horrible. You know, it's horrible. So I kept on top of it by writing and praying and talking. Okay. That's my short form formula. Write about it, talk about it, pray about it. And that's what I had to do. I had to talk about it. I had to talk about that really incessant negativity that I was having in my mind. I had to talk about the anger. I had to reach out to some close friends and talk about it. You know, if I don't share it, I wear it. Okay. And that's a great saying, share it or wear it. I have to get that toxic stuff out. I have to get that attitude out of me. I have to recognize that I'm in it. I have to pray about it. And so I did a lot of that work, and I even did it on my plane ride to Hawaii. And then being in Hawaii was certainly helpful. Because it's so healing, and the weather wasn't great weather, but it was still Hawaii. So, you know, even though we had rain clouds and a few afternoon showers, it was amazing. I saw whales. I mean, the vegetation, the whole thing was amazing. Plus I was with friends. So that was very healing as well. But if you find that you have the case of the F-its, catch it, nip in the bud, my friends. Nip it in the bud and start taking action, okay? Write about it, talk about it, pray about it. That's the short form. You know, address what's really going on, because that attitude, that negative, what's it matter anyway, that is kind of like, it's the result of other things. It's not what's really going on. You don't really want to give up. You don't really want to just destroy your body, right? You don't really want to binge. You want relief from your mental state. Mental and emotional and spiritual state. Okay. You're looking to blot it out with food. And so I had to catch myself and say, Tricia, what's going on and what can you do about it? Because it's a really dark thing. And I didn't want to go any darker, you know, because I didn't want to overeat. And that's in that, if my frame of mind is negative, I will devolve into overeating eventually. I just cannot afford to live there. So if you're there now, time to climb out. Okay. This is your wake up call. You cannot continue to think those negative thoughts, to continue to hate the people you're hating or be angry about whatever you're angry about, some injustice or some political situation or whatever. I can't afford to be there. my friends. I cannot afford to live in that negativity because it will drive me to eat. Other people can afford it. Let them have their anger. Let them have their righteousness. I cannot afford the emotional imbalance for any length of time without it tipping over into overeating. So I got this condition. I got to deal with it. I got to face up to it, deal with it, treat it with proper action. And always prayer. Of course, always prayer. And if you don't believe in God, don't worry about it. Find something that is, higher than you, more, let it be nature. Let it be nature, or let it be somebody else's belief. If you believe, they believe, borrow their belief, don't get hung up on that stuff. And I'm not a religious person. I am a spiritual person. I strive to be, sometimes not so much, but I strive to be. And that helps me. Prayer helps me tremendously. Even if I'm struggling with my belief, I pray, and then I see wonderful things happen, and it helps me feel restored to faith. So that's what I have for you. If you got the case of the Fck Its, it's time to address that right now. Don't let it go on any further. Take some action, write about it, talk about it, pray about it, and get the hell out of that murky, mucky, yucky state of mind, because there's nothing that'll breed overeating more than that swampy place in our minds. So hope that's helpful to you. It's just a quick tip, and I love you so much, and I can't wait to see you on the next show. Remember to join us in the Secret Sauce group, and go to healyourhunger.com if you haven't taken the quiz to find out where you are in the emotional eating spectrum. Love you so much. Take good care.
If you enjoyed this podcast and want to get free support, insider health info, exclusive invites to events, and more, visit healyourhunger.com.